Unlock your full potential with Brain and Focus, a powerful supplement designed to boost mental clarity, enhance memory, and sharpen concentration. Made from a blend of scientifically proven ingredients like ginkgo biloba, omega-3, and essential vitamins, Brain and Focus is crafted to fuel your mind. Our process ensures maximum potency and effectiveness, delivering the perfect balance of brain-boosting nutrients. Take just one capsule daily, as prescribed by your healthcare provider, and feel the difference. Whether it's powering through your workday or staying sharp in life's challenges, Brain and Focus keeps you at the top of your game. Stay sharp, stay focused, and stay ahead with Brain and Focus. Brain and Focus, fuel your mind, achieve more. Go get this product at blackhotfirenetwork.com at the Sports and Nutrition Store. Beetroot, nature's powerhouse. Packed with vitamins, antioxidants, and nitrates, it's known to support heart health, boost stamina, and improve blood circulation. Our beetroot is naturally grown and harvested at peak ripeness. The roots are cleaned, dried, and finely ground to preserve their rich nutritional content, giving you all the benefits in one pure form. Add 1 teaspoon of beetroot powder to your juice, smoothie, or water, or take it in capsule form as recommended by your healthcare provider. Beetroot helps enhance endurance, lower blood pressure, and keep you feeling energized and balanced all day. Fuel your body with the natural power of beetroot. Stay strong, stay healthy. Go get this product at blackhotfirenetwork.com at the Sports and Nutrition.
Karibuni sana to the Pan African Bliss Show. 33 minutes past the top of the hour. Happy Tuesday. the media of the 21st century, the Block of Fly Network Radio Station. Karibuni sana to everyone live with us on YouTube, Rumble, BitChute, everyone live with us on the radio station. And to those who get to listen to this on a replay on Spreaker, on Spotify, hope you guys are doing great. Hope your weekend was fantastic. Hope you're ready for the week ahead of you, and hope you're ready also for the conversation that I have aligned for you today. We shall be, of course, talking about the events that took place during the weekend, where I have a lot of conversation aligned for you. We shall be talking about the visitation or the visit of, excuse me, of that is Mr. Beast in Kenya. This is a few days after we saw him launching a surgical clinic in Ghana. We saw him, of course, gaining, showing some interest in coffee production that is in the West Africa, and of course, him trying to come up with new chocolates or profit on how he can stop also child labor in Ghana. But he also came to Kenya during this weekend secretly, and of course, created more schools, brought in more desks, and it's crazy to see that Kenyans are so excited about this. Africans, literally, I'd say Africans who have been able to see the favors of Mr. Beast are so excited. And I'd say this is not the time for us to be really excited, because I love the fact that we have negative criticisms and positive criticisms, where majority we should focus on the negative ones, because this is something nice. But what about the
Like
people?
every time said, every time showed it last week. Why is he not back in America helping the homeless? And the white people here,
Exactly.
that's all messed up.
Exactly. What about the leaders we've appointed? What is their work? Where are the funds? Why are we living, why are we living literally with the still the same notion of having a white man still being our savior? We need to stop this, and this has to be called out, because it's not just Mr. Beast. We also have another YouTuber. His name is Zach Nelson, who also came to Kenya, built a water tower, installed off-grid power that is in a local hospital, and constructed a fully furnished library and upgraded a library he actually built back in 2022. So these are projects that have been happening in Kenya. And then later on, we're going to ask, why do we have white men trying to take our lands back? They put in their money. We need to follow up who literally they really working with. Next time we're going to be asking, oh, why is it that actually the white people are the most teachers, or why do we have white people as teachers? Because they put in their money. They did, and they can take out anything they want, especially because they're collaborating with our system. But along that, we shall be talking about also Bill Gates, who during the weekend, he said he has a plan to vaccinate all livestock. Of course, this is an agenda 2025-2030 that they have been pushing, especially in Kenya. This is something that we've been talking about the whole of last year. But he says his plan is to start with Africa first. And of course, controversies are going on. People are so mad. Why is it that Africa has to be always the target of everything? Why can't he start with himself? That is the question. Why wouldn't he start with his own family? We see how
Africa's the target because it's weak and corrupt. That's
that
why.
to an end. We shall also talk about Namibia first female president, who is ordering deportation of all Americans in his country, and I love to see this. We shall also talk about, of course, French being given 48 hours. That was yesterday, notice for them to leave Algeria. We're going to talk about what is happening also with Meta in the African continent, and what is happening in South Sudan as we get to continue. So karibuni sana once again. My name is Joby, and as we get with this conversation, I want to start with the positive remarks of Namibia, of what is happening, because this is something positive. At least we've seen for once someone doing something that we've been asking. It's always, we've seen, of course, Trump coming into office and claiming everyone who does not belong to America. If you're not an American citizen, if you don't belong there, you need to leave. And that literally happened. But the question came in after we saw him, of course, also saying that there is white genocide that has been happening in South Africa, which it's a very big lie. It has been the opposite of what he's been saying. White people have the highest records of killing literally majority of innocent workers who actually work for them, and pay them nothing, and they also they have ensured the lives of majority of the South African, the Black South Africans also are not going to be doing great, because we talk about actually lack of literally employment. I was looking at
Live in
this.
poverty. How does
Yeah,
how does 8% control the majority of the population, majority of the economy, and all the land? But
it
they're
is.
they're in the white genocide. It's
Mhm.
crazy. Crazy.
It is
Oh,
crazy. It is crazy because I was also watching a video on TikTok of this lady who was also trying to break down everything and saying, Africans, we need to wake up. Exactly, with the majority. Enslavement in South Africa happened for almost 200 years. And now we have the smallest group of people who actually live and creating their own country there. They have their own currency. They're taking majority of the arable land. They're talking about how South Africans don't like farming, but they're still stealing the land and practicing farming. It is crazy, and we need to really, really wake up. I feel like this goes back to the mindset of Africans because it doesn't really make sense how the
yes,
smallest
Joby. It's the mindset. Exactly.
population of people literally have so much power over us, and it is everywhere they settle, not just South Africa. Everywhere they are,
Yeah.
have
Yes,
this
Joby.
they have the biggest literally say of everything, and everything works for them, but you are the majority and you're suffering. I was sharing a video that was last week on Friday during the Rhythm Scoop show of the neighboring people, that is the Zimbabweans. And there's this lady who was saying that they have gone for a month and 2 weeks without water. This is drinking
Wow.
water, cleaning water, none, to the point where they're going to the sewer lines to trap oh my god, it was just so disgusting, very disgusting. They have to go to the sewer pipes so that they can trap that cleaning water that is dropping, so that they can go clean back their houses and see how they can boil it to drink it. And she's questioning, we have people who have put into parliament, and majority are actually the MPs who are black, but they don't
Yep.
work for the majority of those who are in the country. So what are
Nope.
we doing? This is the same thing we're actually talking about, of always having now, because they don't want to do their work, we're going to keep this mentality of having the white man as our savior, because our own very people don't want to do what is expected of them to do for us, which is so sad. And I feel like I'm really, really now feeling the internal racism, because it is so sad if you really want to see your people suffering this much.
Now,
A whole
now you
month,
now
two
you
weeks
see it, Joby. You see the
without.
internal racism. It's the self-hate you have for each other, the tribalism you have in every country. It is until you get over that, it's the self-hate. And the Africans always look for someone to save them instead of doing themselves. That's why Ibram Torre is getting. They tried to kill him again this weekend. It's crazy. They tried to kill him again. They had the
Wow.
spies around his house trying to blow up his house. Yeah, it's trying to kill him again because he's too dangerous. He said all the truth now. He said, "We're not. You want us to be diplomats with the country? Why is the Congo hasn't been stabilized in 60 years? If you don't do it, we're going to get ourselves together. We're going to do it. Why is it terrorist groups in Benin and Cote d'Ivoire sponsored by white people trying to destabilize Burkina Faso because he's a threat? His mindset is completely different than other Africans. Because why has the African Union ever done anything? He's right. So he's
Mm-hmm.
saying the African Union, he said, we control all the minerals. We're supposed to have the power on the planet. No one can move without Africa. Duh. He said the quiet part out loud. No one can move or build anything without Africa. And yet we're poor and powerless. Because like Joby said, your mindset.
Mm-hmm. Exactly, because I remember it was during the weekend I had someone also replying to one of my comments when we had Mali, Burkina Faso, Niger introducing 0.5% levy on important goods from ECOWAS member nation, including Nigeria. And I left a comment there personally asking, what are other African countries learning from this? And someone answered me and said they're even worried right now. It's always a threat to them when military
It's
governments are,
there.
because very soon people will start calling them out and demand for the same change and development.
Exactly, Joby. I told you. He's a threat. They're trying to kill him too. He's a threat to their stealing, their grab. As this country starts to work, you see it's working. Burkina Faso is working. The only African nation that's working, Joe, because he's not a corrupt moron.
Exactly.
Every turn around, he's building something new. It's crazy. So he's a threat to them. He's a threat to these autocrats, these all corrupt African governments sponsored by YT, by
Mm-hmm.
YT people. That's why he is a threat. And like other African nations say, hey, how's this Bikini Faso now Dubai in 5 years? You've been here 40 years and I'm still poor.
Mm, exactly, because this also during the weekend, as much as they tried to assassinate him, we had the World Bank and the IMF pushing the loans again to them, and he said no, as the Alliance
Why,
Sahel.
why they can't keep trying to come back and give them those? Like, when all these other Africans all in debt, they be begging for loans. No, we're going to do this. Africa, you don't need nobody's loans. You're the richest place. That's them trying to put you in slave debt, trying to get
Exactly.
control of you. You don't need no loans. Even Torre is showing you, you don't need no loans. Loans for what? I got everything here. You've got nothing. You need me. I don't need nothing you got.
Mm-hmm. I love the fact I read the creation of the creation of the IMF or the World Bank. The article once made me read, understanding the agenda of the IMF and
Same thing, though, but they both made at the same time, so it's the same agenda.
mm-hmm. And like literally, if all these African countries, we can read this carefully before we accept the deals and understand the kind of enslavement we're getting ourselves in. Ibrahim Traore is literally showing us is free. He's a free man, literally. He's not taking no orders from anyone. He's independent. That's why he's doing everything he literally wants
That's
to
why
do.
they're trying to kill him.
Mhm.
Because if he gets free, and other Africans get free, Europe and America goes back into poverty. So that fake
Exactly.
white supremacy thing gets demolished, Joby. Their fake white supremacy, that's the end of that. That's
Mhm.
over.
Mhm.
And they're trying to stop that at all terms.
Yep.
Of them being
But
on the top and not having to do anything, and all the labor and everything being done by black people. White people don't do no work. They've been
true,
living off the damn backs of black people for 500 years.
true. That is so true. But we have the Namibian first female president who has reportedly ordered the deportation of over 500 Americans, stating if Africans need visas to enter the USA, then Americans must also need visa to enter Namibia. And I love this move personally because this is something again. I'll take me back to 2021 when I said we need strict laws when it comes to these people entering our countries as well. Because if we're restricted as Africans, no matter where you go outside the African continent, the treatment you get, the racism, we also need to act
Yeah.
accordingly, as
Exactly. It's called tick.
by as
You're talking
king.
about the mindset. Exactly. Growing up as a person, the mindset. Tick for tack. You're going to do it to me, I'm going to do it back to you.
Exactly. This loving, caring, or we're welcoming, and all the time is gone. That happened during colonization when they came and stole everything, all the lands, stole all the food, ensure that they own majority of the arable land, and still to date they control it. The time is coming to the end. Y'all will need to vacate our lands, whether you like it or not. As much as we've seen, still in Zimbabwe, I think I shared the article with you, and on the group, the WhatsApp group, we saw that was Zimbabwe, the first there's the white group. There's the certain white group that got their land back, their compensation of their land back. That was, I think, in Zimbabwe. Yeah.
They got kicked compensation of their land. The land that they stole. It's not their land. They stole it.
Imagine that needs to come to an end. That time is coming. So I love the fact that this is happening in Namibia because we also have, I think, minority, of course, white people who are here control majority of the land as well, and I believe they also have a say
Yep.
in what
Can you
key
too?
things when it comes to politics because we've seen them. They vie even for these seats. They even vie for positions now in like how
Of
comfortable.
course.
You go try do that as an African. You're just from somewhere in the village in
I
Nairobi
know.
or South Africa somewhere or Congo, and then you go in the US and now you wanna be on the same table with Trump. You
Because
wanna
Joby, they know
yeah.
Africans. You're kind, you're loving, and you're pushovers. You're they
That
call. I'm gonna use that word docile, but that's what they call it. You're docile.
the time is coming to an end. But I love this move. I love and I wish also again African leaders can learn something from this. But I won't take this just as a congratulation note to the Namibian female
What's the starting?
president.
It's a
She's
starting point.
starting. Yeah, because this is what they do to blind people. Then in the next few
Yeah.
years, they don't do anything. So
Don't do
I'm
nothing. Yeah,
taking
exactly.
majority of the positive remarks and her trying to do things that favor the people and the country. Then that's when we can say for real, we really have a president in Namibia. But as we get to move on, I want to get into the Mr. Beast story very quickly. Of course, last week I shared what happened in Ghana. Shout out to John Mosquito, shout out to Byron Scott, Karibuni Sana. We saw last week Mr. Beast went to Ghana, of course, showed interest in coffee production, claiming that he wants to stop child labor, which is still very active because the way it's going to be benefiting is still child labor. He's not going to stop this,
Because
literally.
because these because it's a European system. Europeans got
Coming.
control over Africa. These are European systems. They're wicked. That's what they do. It's not.
Mhm.
Instead of paying the people the fair price for the cocoa, they've been exploiting them. Exploiting the African.
Exactly.
There are no billion-dollar cocoa companies in Africa. They're all in Europe where there's no cocoa, or in America where there's no cocoa.
Mhm. So this weekend we also saw him. That is after he opened also a surgical clinic in Ghana. He's now back in Kenya. That is a year after. He came to feed thousands of hungry children. I mean, this is Jesus. This is giving Jesus image. Trust me. You know, when Jesus came with one loaf and I don't know how many fishes, and then they multiplied. Literally, that is the image we
Exactly.
have
Well,
here.
well, exactly. That's what money go feed. See, they don't want money go feed the homeless and the starving white people in America. Only start
Exactly.
as irritating. Only start in America first, because that image is not what they want out there. That's why he doesn't do it. You guys been
Exactly.
starving. You guys start. It's been starving white children in America as you got in Africa. Why is he doing there?
I remember last week you saying they spent billions sending it to Ukraine, but it would only cost 2 billion to literally
Stop
get a
homeless.
homeless out of the
Yeah,
street. So
exactly.
Mr. Beast, I bet that is nothing to him. You know, 2 billion if he works with the
Well,
rest
he
of
ain't.
the
Nah,
person
he
to
ain't no
help.
big. Nah, he ain't no billionaire. He's a YouTube moron. He's making millions. A millionaire now, but he ain't no billionaire. But he can go make a difference. Why don't he go show that on his YouTube channel? Why don't he go show white people all messed up and need food in America? He can go to West Virginia. He can go all the way up to Kentucky. There's so many places white people starving. He can do this in America. Don't have clean water here in America. He can do that here, but he won't, because that's the image they don't want out there. And he damn sure don't get a bunch of views showing his own white people all starving and can't get no drinking water and don't got any food. That's here in America. That's here right now, Joby. Why didn't he go
Mhm.
help them first?
Exactly.
Charity. Charity starts at home because they want this messed up image out there. That's why it's promoted. Why you get all these views? Because soon as they see, don't none of them don't why don't none of these white YouTubers go to America, Joby, and go where
Mm-hmm.
all the poor white people at and feed them? Oh,
Mm-hmm.
you never see them do it.
Exactly. Of course, the video right now is at 30 million views.
There
Of
you go,
course, it's
Joby.
getting a lot of
Exactly.
fans
That's
there.
and that's what YouTube and the white people they promote this garbage. They want this image out there. They're promoting that, Joe.
Mm-hmm.
But he can only go help the poor white people here. Bunch of them, they're homeless, they're starving, they're stupid. Go help them.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm gonna get 30 million views, and then the algorithm they won't push that out. We don't want to. White people want to see that. That's
Exactly.
why she. That's why she know. That's why she know. No, you. That's why you guys are always shocked. When I first, you was shocked about the poverty in America. You're like, what? What? White people live like this? You was all
It's
shocked, Joby, because they never
yeah,
show it.
exactly, because it's not what we're seeing. Yeah, it's not what we see. That's not what they promote. You'll not search white homeless people. No one even thinks about it. Because what do you mean a white homeless person or a poor white person?
I
What
know.
do you mean? You know, and especially this mindset you're given. This is the savior. Like the group of the savior are rich. You know, we're the only fucked up people come from poverty. That is the mindset literally we've been given, and it is super super bad.
It is
Because
propaganda.
if you look at, I say personally, because I always try to look at myself, my thinking the way it was when I look
Yeah.
at poverty. I used to think maybe God just wants some people to be just fucked up because they really deserve it, you know. And I'm like, and some are just meant to be. That's all I always used to think. Like, you're just meant to be poor. Like, you did something. You're just meant to be poor. I didn't see
see,
anything further from
See,
that.
now,
Like,
now listen to your mindset. Your mindset was gonna make you poor. That's your mind was creating your reality, Joe, because that's the propaganda made you believe that lie.
for
But
me,
your
it
mind,
hit me because I'd say the first time I went to the slums, because I've never seen a slum before. So I'm coming from the village. My mom brings me to Nairobi, right? So I have this Muslim
yeah,
friend, and then one day they tell me, "Hey, let's go to our house." So we
yeah.
go. These people don't really have a house. They're living in a carton. I'm like, hold on, how do you guys live there? And when it's raining, they tell me when
Hold
it's
on.
raining, they cover up with the sacks. I'm like, still, it's gonna be leaking. And they're like, hey, it's life. That's how they survive. And then I'll
Let
see
me
the
see.
sweaters.
Somebody said, hold on. Hold
Then I will
on.
I was really shocked. I made like capping. You see the same way I was shocked, like seeing the street children, and then I started crying.
Yeah.
I was really shocked. And then I'm like looking at the sewages because I don't live where we lived. It was nothing like that. I mean, you see, yes,
Yeah.
that around, you see all the littering and everything, but we were in a really clean environment. So I'm
Yeah.
seeing now sewages where people are living. They're just crossing. They're comfortable. The toilets are messed up. Everyone is sharing the toilets. I was really, and I
Yeah.
went and asked my mom, like, is this really okay? Why are these people living? My mom couldn't explain anything to me. She just kept quiet. In some things, she couldn't answer me. She could just keep quiet.
She
Maybe
didn't
just
know,
allow me.
Joby. She
Yeah,
was,
maybe
your
just
mom didn't have as much
allow me.
education. Your mother didn't have as much education as you got now, Joby. She didn't know
I
none. She couldn't answer you none of these questions.
Yeah, I feel like for her, she just wanted me to experience because, of course, now I met more of those kind of friends. And then when you're growing up, you're going to go to your friends' houses because you're bringing them also to you guys' house. So I was really shocked, like really traumatized. And for me, I went thinking now, like, why is God punishing these people? Are they just meant to be poor? Like, us, we live in good. For me, that was a good life. Like, because we're
No,
living a
that was
good
a
life.
that was an honest. See, I love it. Why's God punishing these people? God wasn't punishing them.
Yeah.
And then do
I'm
what
like,
God. The
are
white
they
people
living
put them.
in
White people.
poverty? Like,
The white people put that system together. See, and, that's why you're not. That's why you're uneducated. Get uneducated. Yeah. Why is God punishing people? God not punishing them people.
you know, yeah. And then based on the fact where I come from, my mom's side, again, I've said they're wealthy. So I come from
Yeah.
just mansions, rooms to rooms. I don't know what, like,
Uh,
like I'm used to a clean lifestyle, a healthy lifestyle. So I'm like, what the heck is this? Like, I really have friends who are living, and I had to adapt. I'm like, wow, really, people do live like this. Because now I started walking around every weekend, or maybe during the holidays when schools are closed, we go see
yeah.
other places. You see now the slums. I'm like, wow. And I knew that's just life. People just live like this. We just have poor people and people who are okay. That's just it. So it's mentality. I'd say everything is just again
The
mentality.
African has a military. They can only military I know they can live in that kind of abject poverty. No other people live like that. You start a revolution. You
So
overthrow the
actually,
government.
when you see a white man walking, for me that it used to shock me because you're supposed to see a white man with a
So,
car. They're supposed to be driving, and then
so your
until
mindset was already.
so supposed to be seeing a white man walking. So today we see a lot of them here, especially in Rongai. There's so many. This one you get to see for real. These people ain't shit. They ain't shit life for real. They are very, very thirsty, can't even buy water. Like, please.
Time someone watches this video, it helps feed someone in need. And since we get a lot of
Yeah.
views, I
Is
brought
that
a lot of
why?
people.
Is that why is it Mr. Beast helping the poor white people in Kenya?
Mm, exactly.
Here you go.
Thank you, thank you.
No problem. And if you're wondering how this works, every time someone watches
because
this
they,
entire video,
because they want this image out there. Look at the poor, dirty, starving African. He's backward and stupid. He cannot build anything, and he always needs the white daddy to come over. This is the propaganda they want out there. It also makes them feel good. Makes them keep the superiority. Like, yeah, look at these. And so people on YouTube look at these poor, dusty Negroes. Yeah, this how. Yeah, they backward. They still stupid. Can't build anything. Yeah, that's why we get all those comments on BitChute. You dirty Negroes ain't never built that. You always need white people to help you. That's always in your comments on BitChute. Go ahead, Joe.
It's crazy. I just feel sad to see that people are really excited about this. I mean, I understand you've been excited about the chances you've been asking for years from your government, but at the same time, it is so sad if you don't see the effect and the
You're supposed,
picture, the
yeah,
narrative
you're supposed
promoted.
exactly the
You
narrative.
know,
You're supposed to say that what is your government doing? What is the Kenyan government doing? Why are they
man, 'cause
there? Why are
exactly.
they the government?
Because as much as we think he's also he's not only promoting poverty, but also promoting that our government or most of the African governments don't actually work. Which
Exactly, Joe.
the rest of the world knows, but now it's clearly being shown by a white person, trying to do the work that your government is supposed to be doing, that your government doesn't do its job. These are easy things you can get, actually less funds and very quickly. Water, you just need machines, and you have water. The earth provides water. We're given water by It's just there, but this
Yeah,
politician
and
want to
show
make
exactly show that the
yeah.
Africans are still stupid. They don't know how to do anything. That's exactly what this is showing. So it's the image. This the image. This called poverty porn. This is what this is.
It is
Mr.
what it
Beast
is.
never goes to America and goes into the white poor community, which is millions, Joey, millions of poor white people here. They not none of them ever do it. None of them ever go to the white community and do this because they don't want that image out there. They want this image to the world. That's why when you go to other countries, Joby, white black people don't get respected because that's what they should remember. When they said, remember you got mad when the people say, "What's your first thought of Africa?" And they say, "Poor, poverty, starvation," because of this, because of stuff like this, Joby. I guess
Mm-hmm.
what's your first thoughts when you think of Africa? And they say poor. Everybody kept saying poor, poverty, starving. Messed up because of these videos, Joe.
Sad.
Including you right now, money is generated. And as this video grows, that increasing amount of money will feed an astonishing amount of people. Everybody eats. But
Look at
that's
this.
not all it's gonna do.
And all these people.
You watching this video will supply farmland, build massive kitchens, fill schools with food for their students, and save children from child labor. So honestly, I'm glad you're here.
Like
This is
literally, it
this,
things,
this is
it takes me
poverty
back.
porn.
It takes me back to I don't know which video we were watching, but talking about agriculture. Africans we had again all this knowledge. It's the Benin Wall.
Yeah.
Is here showing us how to build a school. Africans we had the ability to build the greatest walls, but now we have a white man doing the
Great
same.
civilization.
It's crazy. It's
Here,
Yeah.
there you go. 1,500 people have now been fed.
There you go, little Negro. We're so excited that
The meals you
he's
saw
out
us
here.
giving away are cost-effective and jam-packed with nutrients, and honestly, way healthier than most meals in America.
Jimmy, why does it feel like I'm carrying the whole thing?
Let's get to feeding. There are over 500 kids that attend this school that now every single school day will get a free breakfast and lunch just for coming to school. And the more of you that watch this video, the longer we'll be able to keep that program going.
The community is very happy because of the food.
Look, now look at this. Now remember, Trump is cutting free lunch and breakfast in America. Why don't Mr. Beast go to those white communities where they don't get free lunch and breakfast no more in America? Trump said he cut all that, Joby. So you got millions of white starving kids in America. Joe. Millions. Why isn't Mr. Beast going to get them free lunch and breakfast? Why?
It's crazy. I kind of just wonder who is really collaborating with, because with the next one, I try to do this, and then the next video I'll share about the organ trafficking. Ruto is low key just low key collaborating with these white people to do wicked shit, like some
He's a,
really embarrassing language.
Joby, he's a puppet. He's not collaborating. He's the puppet. That's why he's put there. They're puppets, Joe. He's not. He's there to do it. He's a
So
puppet.
where's the Ministry of Food? Because we do have cabinet secretaries that are in charge of food. What is your work? And then it reminds me, I was talking about this some time about it on the culture show. We saw them, the cabinet secretary of agriculture, and I don't know what was actually his net worth was 700 and something million. 700 is almost a billion. And I'm asking, how is
Where's
this
your money
possible?
come? Where's your money come from?
Exactly.
Right?
While the Kenyans are starving, we have people literally in every county crying because of food. And when you talk about also the local producers or the local farmers, they've been crying because we have all these Chinese, the Indians who have completely taken over our markets. And we don't even benefit from it. We saw for us to just even get KFC fries, we'll rather eat ugali than, go support the local farmers who are producing literally potatoes. We need to go to France. We're waiting for Macron to transport his GMO potatoes to us.
You're not supposed to allow that. That means because these puppets have allowed your industries to be flooded with their products. No one does that. That's why Trump is putting tariffs. You don't allow no other country to flood your local market and destroy your own business. You don't do that. You don't never allow that. But the Africans, the puppets are morons. So they're stupid. And they want to appease white people. And that's why they got power to give it to them. So they would destroy their own markets. You don't destroy your own economy, but that's what these puppets do.
Man,
You
it's
allow another you allow another people to come in your country instead of businesses and put your own people out of business. You would never allow that. You don't see that in China and make you see it nowhere else. Only in Africa you see this nonsense over and over again.
during the weekend. I was somewhere, and then I saw again when I talk about Indians dominating also businesses. I went to this place, a restaurant, and then majority of this, I'd say it was only one African lady whose restaurant we went and ate. Because for me, I've never eaten Indian food. I don't know what Indian foods is all about. So I can't eat something I've never eaten. But what I noticed, I'm like, wow, the Indians are really fully dominating this place. A
Of
toilet,
course.
a toilet is supposed to be,
Remember,
but I paid a toilet half a dollar for using a toilet
so
because
it's
this
supposed
is
to
an
be,
Indian
that's
shop.
it's supposed to be free, but but in Africa, everything's a scam. So understand, the British left the Africans didn't kick them out like you're supposed to. The British brought them into Africa to be the managers of black people. And when you got freedom, supposedly, you never did what you're supposed to. Hey, you got to get out of here. You got to go back. You got to go back to India. You can't stay here. You can't stay here and get the land that you have still. You understand, the Indians fought with the British. They were they were in their armies, Joby, fighting against African people. The idea that you let allow these Indians stay in Kenya, Tanzania, South Africa, Zimbabwe, Ghana, everywhere in Africa. These people fought with the British to enslave African people, to colonize African people. That's how they got there. In Uganda, they fought with the inside the British Army.
Mhm.
That's why they were below the British. They weren't on top. They were the buffer class. And so when the British left, supposedly left, the fake left, the Indians were supposed to leave with them too. That's why Idi Amin said, "Oh, y'all got to go." But they brought them back. As soon as they lost power, they brought them all back to Uganda. "Oh, y'all got to go." I did. You came with the British. The British gave you all of our economy. You got to go.
They need
You think
to.
you're gonna be in an African country, living off African resources while African people stay poor? See, that's the scam, Joby. Everybody wants to live off of Africa and have African people poor. And the African has not said enough is enough. You
Exactly.
got to say enough is enough, Joby.
Exactly. Because I think also we had a scandal, I think in 2021 or 2022. There was a scandal about the Mumia's sugar production, which was owned by an African. Of course, Africans have been also working in that particular land, for years and years and centuries. But
Supposed to
now
own all of it.
an Indian came over and claimed that particular region and also the company itself, and now he's fully in control. I'm gonna find the
But you,
article.
but
Right.
you've allowed it. That's the
Yeah,
trouble with the African. Everybody knows the African is considered weak and cowardly. That's why Ibrahim Traore said we can't be cowards. We consider us cowards. We gotta stop the coward. Africans have been considered cowards. Joe. If you're gonna be honest today, cowards. You don't fight for nothing. So people can come over and just take what's yours. That's what you see. That's why you got a small population in South Africa on all the land because the South African black people that are cowards. You don't let enough people come to your country, take over everything from you, put you in slavery and in poverty. That's what the Europeans done everywhere they went, especially in Africa, Kenya. Before you guys finally uprose in the 1960s and early 50s, white people own all the land in Kenya, but they still really own the majority of the land because you never got it back yet. This fake independence.
it's
No,
crazy. It's just
because
crazy.
yeah,
We need our strength back, and it has to start mentally. The strength has to start mentally.
it
This
does. Exactly right,
fight,
Joe.
the ability to fight and say no to you being a coward, or being easily
Really,
driven into
just
doing
like
the
just like
things.
we showed last week, you got the big old Joe. We got the big old gorillas like 10 times bigger than a chimpanzee, but the gorilla is a coward. So the chimpanzees dominate the gorillas, Joby. The African is bigger than any other race, but he's a
Mhm.
coward. Any fight to fight, the African's bigger than the Asians, bigger than the Europeans. Why is he always getting dominated by these smaller people? Because he's a coward.
It's a
Just like
problem.
the just like the gorilla is a
That's
coward, and the little chimp goes and wages war on the gorilla and dominates them. Go ahead,
That's a
Joe.
big problem because when you're big and large in numbers and you have the minority, being able to control you, rule you, it's a problem. Because I always try just give it a simple thought because we right now Africans are on the, on the path of waking up and tapping into all this information, ancient information, historical information, everything, which of course brings back our confidence and power, which starts with the mentality. It would be so bad because white people are literally moving back to Africa, trying to snatch everything.
Yeah, yeah, that's
No,
all.
and if we're gonna be dealing with majority of the cowards, we're gonna be recolonized again. It's a
I
big
told, I told you, Joe, what they're going to try to do because
problem. Because
Europe
there's
is.
no way I'm gonna be having a
Europe,
spear personally or a gun. I want to shoot my enemy, but the person standing beside me is like, "Oh no, Jesus said we shouldn't be killing." I'm gonna end you. You need
yeah,
to. And the moment
exactly.
I'm not supposed to be reducing the number of the people standing next by me. They're supposed to be increasing so that we can kill the minority. But the moment I'm deducting the people with me and the minority's number remain bigger, I'm gonna be dead. So who's gonna save you now? And then it
That's true.
remains the same system of cowardness because you're so scared to fight.
That's why, that's why you got it right, Joe. It's the mentality. If it's no matter how big it's your mental, it's your mentality. That's why I told you. I always go back to when you guys were in Tanzania with that white. His mind was so messed up that you guys were not going to be African and docile. Ooh, why be scared of that? You guys were going to fight for your rights, fight for what is right as well, fight for what being treated just. He was all messed up in the head because he's been used to Africans. He talked crazy Africans and they just take it and smile. Yes, Mr. White Daddy.
Crazy.
So, whoa! Did these girls grow up in America or something?
We know who you are. You know who you are. It was it pissed me the F. Like it was so on my nerve. Like, and I don't like people who walk shirtlessly all the time. Like, yeah, I
Oh
understand it's
man,
important, but wear at least a vest,
no, no,
Most
that was disrespectful. You don't walk around with your big old nasty, hairy, nasty. You're all
and then
fat
it
and
was
sloppy.
all of them, and then they want to put us outside where they're drinking beers as they put us in mosquitoes as we cook. I'm like, this is not okay. This is not cool at all. We didn't pay for this. We paid to be cooking inside the house. Oh, you need to be paying for that oil you're using. What the heck are you talking about? Get your thing
Exactly.
correctly. Talk to us directly. Like, what are you trying to say?
Leaders are coming.
They need to tell Mr. Beans, we don't need your beans. We eat beans every single day. We can afford beans. Like, you know how to cook beans better than you. What are you teaching me about my recipes?
And with this meal right here, we just fed the entire school breakfast.
Sit anywhere they want.
Okay. Can we sit on the cool kids table? How does it taste? Does it taste good?
How's it taste?
Good.
How's it taste, you dirty Negroes? You're getting food from us, and then your people can't do nothing. You're poor. See, understand what this project, the poverty porn to the world. Look at these retarded, backward Negroes. They can't feed themselves. They're still backward and sorry. We need to come to Africa and recolonize and steal the land because they're just stupid. Look at it. They can't feed themselves. And we get the Eric Princes keep saying, oh, we need to come back and just colonize Africa. These leaders can't do nothing. They're backward and stupid. Not saying that they don't want to put those backward leaders in power. We need to come back. They not come back to help. They come back because Africa's rich. They want those resources. They didn't come back to help no African.
It's crazy. I don't know if you've seen these videos. I'm just trying to think about it, and then I'm like, I don't know. But there's these videos which have been going viral, which of people recording themselves, like they'd be minding their business, especially on TikTok. Find a black person.
It's always a white person that's gonna be all up in your business. Yeah, I seen it. Yeah, that's true. That's true, Joby. That's true.
Like, there's this lady who was just like trying to fix her lashes on the airplane, and then this lady out of nowhere, she's just standing there looking at. I'm like, God, this is so weird. I don't know how I'd react personally. Like, I get irritated very quickly in such situation.
Welcome to the world, Joby.
I don't know how I would react to that
When
kind of a situation.
when you start flying, when we start you flying next year, you're gonna see all of that. See how you do. You're gonna see all of it.
I'm just
All
gonna
of it.
glasses on and my earphones on, because that I think makes me like calm down my nerves. I'm like, let me just listen to the music more than you who's trying to get my attention. Because that was, I think that was the weirdest video I've seen of all. Like, this lady just came. I mean, the plane is flying. Are you crazy? You just stood to look at this lady, what she's doing? Like,
No, Joby. Let me tell you why they do. Especially in certain places. They say we put you, in their minds, we put you Negroes in poverty. How are you ones that how are you able to fly, Joby? How are you able to be here? How are you able, what do you do for a living? How are you able not to be poor and be up in here? What do you do for a living? That's that's the look they're giving you. That's the look you're gonna get.
I run the world. That's what I do. I am a god. You know, I am not. I am what you're not. Like, what's up?
Yeah, Jimmy made it. I did make it. And because of our meal program, the school attendance skyrocketed. So it only made sense to upgrade their classrooms. They have so few desks at the school that some students literally have to sit on rocks.
And this is so real. Of course, we've done this a couple of times. This is the African countries. Students have to sit on
2025, people sitting on rocks. This is a country. This is Kenya, sitting on rocks. So this video goes all out to the world. Goddamn, these Africans are still sitting on rocks, and who does this know in the world? Nobody but the Africans. Because the governments are so corrupt, so terrible.
And you have to sit on a desk, 4 of you or 5 of you, which makes it very difficult for you guys to study. Because I remember for us also, we grew up with the same system. Actually, for us, it was even way bad. We were told when you enter the school, you're supposed to buy your own desk. But trust me, this desk you're not going to use alone. You're going to use it with other students. But every student brought a desk. So you ask, like, what? Every student didn't bring that desk. Where are the desks? Why are you sitting 4?
You're paying for school fees. You're paying to go, and you're paying for the desk. What does the government pay for, Joby? What does the government pay for then? I'm paying to go. I'm paying for the desk. What does the government pay for then?
What they say is the food, that is the lunch they bring, because back then we used to have at least exactly what it did: breakfast, lunch, and then there's that porridge before you guys leave the school, or maybe some meals before you leave the school. But nowadays it's only lunch that the school provides, which actually is just githeri, which most of the people don't like githeri. Students don't like githeri. Some fucked up rice boiled with no salt, no oil. Just it's like you're drinking porridge with nothing, you know? And then beans are full of weevils. These are beans that have been stored in stores that are expired, that some politicians stole because they were greedy, didn't want to supply beans. So now these beans are supplied in schools full of weevils, and we eat them like that. What they put is kerosene in our food in schools. I don't know. They always say it's to reduce the hormones and all that. They put kerosene. So you'll find rice has kerosene, cabbage has kerosene, porridge has a little bit of taste of kerosene.
There's not really any kerosene in that, Joe. But you were saying,
yeah, they put kerosene.
That's poison.
They put kerosene in our foods. I'm not even capping.
That's poison, Joby. Don't put no kerosene oil in your food. That's poison. Come on, stop your hormones.
Yeah, they say to reduce hormones. And
that's a lie.
Yeah.
I assume you're not supposed to put 4 kids on one of these.
Of course, this is only supposed to take 2 kids.
Really?
Not 4.
Can you ask them if they'd like new desks?
Mungependa kuletewa desks mpya.
I'll be right back then.
Yeah, look at
on it.
We got some new desks for everybody.
And now, even with all these new students, everyone.
And remember, you see how these broken down ass, messed up ass, they're paying to get in that raggedy shit. That's the thing that destroys my mind. They're paying to get in this raggedy ass crap right here. You wouldn't want your dog to go up in there, let alone your child. But Africans outside, like, well, you know, these kind of schools we're supposed to have these kind of tin shacks and but like I said, we're building things that I would never build something like that in my life. I would never build and expect my kids and grandkids to go up in there. This is what I'm talking about. The mind frame of it, and this not just kidding. This all of Africa. The mindset is messed up. I wouldn't put my dog up in there. What is this place? And you gotta pay. You gotta pay. This becomes the double whammy. You gotta pay to sit in this garbage. You
And
pay to sit in this no this.
you'll find when it's raining, it's leaking. The classes are leaking too. So you
Man,
guys have to.
look. I bet it is leaking. Look at this thing here. What is that? That's a school. Like, what? School?
Yeah.
What? School? What? What? That because that's the internal racism you have. You won't even what you do, but man, you didn't put my kid up in there. You gotta be crazy. You got me all messed up in the head. You think my kid? Look at this thing. You think my kid would go up in there and sit up in there? I said, listen there, we gotta tear this whole thing down to the ground. We got to dang floor this thing and build something decent, presentable for our dang people, children to get. What? No way. No way. But see, until you get that mindset, African people, you've allowed this. This is disrespectful, and you've allowed it. You think this not this? You believe it, like Joby said. Well, some guy just killed some people supposed to live all messed up like this. What? I'm not living in no school like this. And then you talking about paying school fees. I'm paying the government to stay in a messed up building like this. Now, like I said, if I ain't got no toilets, if I ain't got no running water in there,
Of course,
nah, no way.
no running water.
Justice, he runs the farm.
Welcome to Olelesho Farm. We have two parts of the farm. One part of the farm goes directly to the schools, and the other part of the farm we specifically grow to sell to nearby communities, which helps to keep the nonprofit going.
And because right now these farms are using manual labor, which is not efficient enough to produce as much food as the schools
We
need.
brought you a brand new tractor.
Oh, way.
Now instead of people doing manual
No
work,
way,
like
take
this,
it right, man. You brought me a truck. You Negroes still don't got tractors and stuff. No
45
way.
seconds.
this tractor is more important than you may realize. Just because we're taking the money from all the views on this video and giving it to school meal programs doesn't mean food just magically spawns out of thin air. The food has to come from somewhere, and in this case, it's coming from the increased yield on this tractor across this massive farm.
And to be sure,
Joby, before we leave, I want you to juxtapose this nonsense. I want you. I'm gonna go. I want you to go to a YouTube video show the poorest areas of West Virginia. When you get done with this, I want to juxtapose. Why is he not in these white communities doing this where they got food insecure? They going to bed hungry. Well, I'm gonna ask you, why is he not there doing this? They need all this in America.
Exactly. So
Go to West Virginia. Go ahead.
I'll share the next video for the rest of the people would love
All
to
right, go
maybe
ahead.
continue, but he did feed the school, build up a green farm, came up with another water project,
Yeah,
build another
yeah.
school.
I can't look at them poverty poor videos, Joby. I can't look at them things. I know
It's
exactly
crazy.
what they are.
Gotta be shared because I hate the fact again, like I'm saying, I hate the fact Africans are celebrating this. We shouldn't be celebrating. If we're really trying to wake up from colonization, we should
But
understand what we really
But the
need.
mindsets are not the same as yours. Joe. You got to understand. They got to become educated. What's going on? They don't know their relationship to the European and the relationship to the world. They haven't taught any of this stuff. So this the problem with Africa is the ignorance. Till you start getting the mass education, then you can understand your relationship to the world, your relationship to the European. And this is not help. This is poverty porn. Like I said, why doesn't it go to America? They need food. They need all kind of gardens and stuff in West Virginia and Kentucky. You can do that there. But you don't want that image. They don't want that image out. And they're not gonna push that on YouTube.
Exactly. But if I get to share the West Virginia,
Yeah, go ahead.
then get closer to winding up, I'll share the next of the stories maybe in the evening or tomorrow on the Pan African Bliss Show. I want us to talk about also what is happening in Kenya when it comes to organ trafficking. Apparently, I was listening to this podcast in the morning when I was getting ready, and that is what led me to this. Actually, it's something that is happening and has been happening. So most of the women, when they go to give birth, they are being lied to. You can't push normally. You need to undergo CS. And when you undergo CS, of course, you're unconscious. They remove your kidney without your authorization. And this is a
He
business
said,
that
what? Who Who's moving your kidney? Wow, what?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. So this has been happening to women who have given birth in the 254 for the last, I think, 1 year. I'm not sure, but investigations have started. But apparently, also listening to the podcast I was listening, which I can't share because it talks Swahili. The guy was saying that Ruto collaborated with he's an Indian apparently, an Indian who runs one of the biggest hospitals in Kenya, and that this is something he was appointed as the cabinet
This
secretary.
is illegal. You can't steal people's organs, Joby. This is illegal.
And the
This is
same guy.
a crime against humanity.
Exactly. The same thing has been happening actually, and that is in his hospital. And patients came out to actually accuse the hospital, but Ruto appointed the owner of the hospital as the cabinet secretary of health ministry. So this shows exactly that this is something that has been happening. And then take me back to the cult, the not the cult, but when we had so many Kenyans who died because of that pastor who told them to
The
starve themselves.
passion.
Of course, we
Yeah.
saw children and many parents had body organs missing. And all the president had to say is that is sad. And no investigations happened. But this is what has been happening in Kenya. Some people have been approached by the same. It's like the surrogate whole scam when we saw women getting pregnant, selling their babies. Some have been approached, some have not been approached. The sad part is the women who have gone to give birth, and then you have your kidney with being removed without your consent, and then later on you're suffering some health conditions. You start, because I've had from the video I was listening to, when you don't have the stitches well done, or if in case maybe I don't know what happens, you might
That hospital is
pain.
supposed to shut. The hospital, everybody in is supposed to be shut down immediately and locked up. You can't do that in no hospital. I would say you can't, but it's Africa. Nobody gives a. This is wild. People,
Yep.
tell the people in Africa, man, their minds got to get shot. That house is supposed to be burned down to the ground, and those people will be locked up. You supposed to been got if Brutal's behind. He supposed to been got Brutal out of power. You can't steal people's kidneys, and nothing happened to you.
But it's happening.
Now, a brutal trade, a multi-million-dollar business with Kenya at the heart of it. A special investigation by DW, Der Spiegel, and ZDF reveals how young and vulnerable people from Kenyans and Central Asia are lured into selling their kidneys. That, as rich patients from Germany, Israel, and beyond pay huge sums.
All the white people who hate you, know they need black people's genes, their organs, because those are the best. Isn't that funny? They hate you, but they want your organs inside of them because theirs don't work.
Giving transplants. Our next report is by DW Nairobi Bureau Chief Mario Muller, who was part of the investigation team.
This is Amon Kipruto Meli, 22 years old, from a village in western Kenya. Like many young Kenyans, he struggled to find steady income, jumping from one job to the next. One day, a friend told Amon about a quick and easy way to earn a lot of money. Amon was promised $6,000 for his kidney.
That's all?
They didn't explain anything to me. They pointed at people around us, and they said, "Look."
That's why when I was also listening to this, I was like, this is again the mentality. How do you come, someone approaches you, tells you, hey, we need you to offer your kidney, you're going to get $1,000.
Your kidney, Joby, is worth over $1 million. Over $1 million. And you're going to give me $6,000. That's like the gold thing. It's crazy.
And then you're not even asking no question. And then you can hear the guy saying, they did not explain anything to me. They just showed me 1 to 3 patients. And
well, why did you ask?
Again, the mentality.
Look, they donated, and they're okay. They're even back at work.
After surgery at a hospital in Eldoret and only a few days of recovery,
See, this is the ignorance in Africa. This is the ignorance in Africa that's so dangerous. Some when they back at work where you don't know nothing. That's a mind of. I told you I can't be born by none of these wackos. I mean that.
$1,000, less than agreed. A short time later, Amon began feeling unwell and fainted. His mother rushed him to the hospital, where she was shocked to learn her son was missing a kidney. After finding out he had sold it, she reported the incident to the police. Amon is not the only young Kenyan to fall victim to organ-selling schemes. We discovered one of the companies organizing kidney transplants is called Medlead. It appears Germany is one of its target countries, among others.
This is all a symptom of this is all a symptom again of poverty. These are symptoms of you getting preyed upon because you've been put in abject poverty. It's the system. It's the symptom of white capitalism that's destroyed you. It's like it's a symptom of it.
Sure. Germany, where there are not enough donors each year. Sabine Fischer-Kugler turned to Medlead for a kidney transplant.
Ain't nobody giving their kidney to nobody.
She paid a sixth.
I'm donating my shit.
She says she doesn't regret her decision.
It might.
Yeah, I don't care. Yeah, I got a kidney. Yeah, it's a black person's kidney. That's right. Fuck them. I'm living. So what? I'm white. I don't like these Negroes, but I do got their organs because I know the organs are the best. Forget them.
These people need to be arrested. You need to be arrested. You need to be actually arrested. There was a time I was watching a similar kind of a movie where a patient was killed and then their kidney removed. It was actually, I think, something to do with heart. Yeah, it was the heart. A lady needed an heart transplant, and then this lady was killed because investigations were done. She's in good health condition. She's never had
heart matches in that she wasn't smoking or drinking. Yeah.
Exactly. So they killed her and removed her heart and took it to the other person. And the other person received the heart when she discovered it. Actually, she took everyone down who helped her to get the heart because that was illegal of what you did. You killed someone without their consent. You lied to me. They accepted giving their heart to me, because 1, 2, 3 things. But
that's why it's called a movie. No, that's a movie. Person got the heart. Yeah.
Wanted the kidney. The contract terms were in order, but it's clear to me that it's not quite right.
Kenya's health ministry commissioned a fact-finding mission to one of the hospitals where kidney transplants have been conducted after allegations of organ trafficking taking place there. The inspectors found transplants were conducted despite poor matching results and in high-risk cases like cancer patients. But their report calling for an official investigation never seems to have been acted upon, a source familiar with the matter told DW. The investigator working on organ trafficking cases in Eldoret says he has encountered difficulties.
Because the government is involved. Because the government is involved in this illegal transactions. That's why it's been stopped.
There are external forces. Being organized crime, there are very powerful people who may be involved. So they can use many ways of blocking.
Medlead states it has a success rate of 98%, while the company regrets that organ rejection can occur in individual cases. It denies any wrongdoing. All donors are said to be 100% altruistic. And Medlead writes it has been operating transparently and in full compliance with the law since its foundation. Researchers say organ traffickers are able to prey on vulnerable, poor people thanks to legal loopholes.
Just poor, like I said, the video I was watching, it explains very well. We have women who go to give birth. You're lied to by the doctors. You can't push normally. So what we're going to do is perform a CS on you. And then while you're unconscious, they remove your kidney, which actually, according to the podcast I was listening to, it was a doctor even explaining that is very critical. He was even wondering how they do that. There's no, you're performing a CS, you're trying to get a child out. At the same time, you're going on top trying to get the kidney. Like you literally you're endangering the life of this patient. So it is so crazy to see that this is happening. But again, it's Africa. This is how bad corruption and bad leadership, literally, where it has gotten us. Poverty, again, where it is destroying people's mindset. And I always see these things as a joke on TikTok. People always say, you'll find videos on TikTok of people trying to ask, like, where did you say people are selling kidneys? Can you guys direct me? I need to go sell my kidneys, because people are really poor. People want to help their families. If you follow up again, majority is people just need money. They're trying to find ways of surviving. So if you hear there's a kidney,
because of poverty.
yeah, there's a kidney center somewhere where you can give your kidney and the money you're promised, which is all lies, because you hear they promise you this amount of money, but you don't even get to see them anywhere again. And you're going to sue who? They have deep connections with the system.
You can't sue nobody because what they're doing is illegal. So
exactly.
This is all criminal.
That is what has been happening in Kenya. So gotta be very careful when you come to Kenya. Don't be unconscious. Don't get sick to that level. These hospitals literally are doing business and business. Even for me, when I go to the hospital, I have to ask, because doctors were paid to inject people the VACCINEs. I always ask, what are you putting in my body? What are you putting in my body? I need to know. I need to read. Give me the bottle. I want to read. I want to see what you're, because I don't know what you're injecting me. I don't know what. I don't want to be messed up at all. But as we literally come to close to winding up, let me look for the video of
because we got to juxtapose. Say, go to YouTube and say, poverty. Say poverty. Say white poverty areas in West Virginia. White poverty areas in West Virginia. So we'll see. I'm just giving one state, a bunch of states that are poor. I'm just giving one of the states I know of that's very poor with white people. Mr. Beast could be there helping them. They don't got clean water in West Virginia. A lot of parts. They don't got no food. Why they get a farm out there? They don't got no good schools. Raggedy stuff, all the money out there. Hey, there's gonna be a bunch of them. Told you, got to pick. There's a bunch of them. Why are you out there helping these people?
Let's talk about West Virginia. A couple months back, we looked at why so many people were moving to this Appalachian state. As soon as that video went up, the comment section went ablaze with people wondering why anyone would move to West Virginia, while a bunch of other people kind of defended West Virginia and said it was a great state. That's the beauty of human beings. We are all different. Most people love hot weather, others don't. Some people see life in a small town as slow death, while others dream about it. So just because we said some nice things about West Virginia in the last video, it doesn't mean the state is for everyone. Myself, I love this state, but to be honest, West Virginia for a long time has been considered the worst state. These days, Louisiana, Mississippi, and Arkansas have flown past them. But like I said in past videos, they've had some really bad luck over the last few decades. The coal industry tanked, the opioid crisis gripped the state tighter than any other state.
Drug abuse
goes on. These days, things are moving in the right direction.
The poor, the drug use. Let me get the wrong video. Yeah, let's see. Ain't nobody moving to West Virginia, no mass. So you got massive drug use in West Virginia because it's impoverished. Got white people on the streets all poor, hanging out, houses all broken apart. This guy just talking the good stuff. Let's pick another video. This guy, people celebrating West Virginia now. Nobody moving there. And you told me it's considered the worst state. That's right. I've been it's considered the worst state for a reason. I'm like, whoa, these poor white people. I want to say what I want to say.
Has paid its dues to the state, and the state has deserted us.
You don't have food. You don't know where your next meals is going to come from.
He goes right here to they don't got no food. We don't know where our next meal is. Where are you at, Mr. Beast? They're poor. They don't know where the next meal is coming from, Mr. Beast.
Go help.
Where are you? Where you at? They're poor. You ain't built them no garden. You ain't got them no food, Mr. Beast. Go ahead, Joe.
Politicians are going to have to start telling really hard truths. And the people of West Virginia know that.
McDowell County, West Virginia isn't a typical stop on the campaign trail. This isn't a bellwether county, and it's not in a battleground state. But I've come here because it has a unique status in 2016. During the primaries, a higher percentage of people here voted for Donald Trump than anywhere else in America.
And they're poor.
It's also the poorest county in one of the poorest states in the country.
See, I live in that apartment building across the street. I get up in the morning, come over here at 8, make me some coffee, read my paper, and kill time.
Ed Shepherd is 92. His gas station stopped pumping in 1995.
Up this main street, there wasn't an empty building that didn't have a prosperous business in it. But little by little, they begin to close one after the other.
Where you at, Mr. Beast?
Down to a ghost town. A ghost
That
town.
broke.
When was the last time someone stopped and asked you for some help?
Oh, I don't know, 4 or 5 days ago. I don't remember exact. Occasionally, somebody will pull in the driveway asking for directions, or they're looking for something else in the county. All the good activity is gone, and we're just sitting here now.
I want to find more people who are still clinging on in McDowell. I asked for a tour from Sabrina Schrader, an anti-poverty campaigner up for re-election to the House of Delegates in the next...
The anti-poverty campaigner. Where you at, Mr. Beast? Those just showing all that poverty. You ain't getting enough time. It's poverty. The houses, the people starving. Like, I don't know where my next meal gonna come from. Where you at, Mr. The lady says she know where the next meal gonna come from, Mr. Beast. But you building gardens in Africa? Look at these. Build these. Look at, build some homes here, Mr. Beast. Look at this. Look at this. It's worse than Africa. Look at this, Mr. Beast. You're needed here. Won't you come here, Mr. Beast? Look at this crap. Look at this. Look at that, Joby. Why Mr. Beast ain't there helping them people, Joby? There you go, Joby. Where's Mr. Beast, Joby?
These are literally houses noted on this page.
They got raggedy, yeah, they got poured in it. They got trash and garbage. Where's Mr. Beast at, Joby? Help the good white people. Look at this junk. And they're hungry. They ain't got no, where's their garden at, Joby? Ain't no garden out there. Where's their garden at? Mr. Beast is building in Africa. Way out there helping them good white folks. Those is people. Because it's poverty porn, Joby. You don't have to know none of this right here. I don't know where my next meal's coming from. Hey, lady, call Mr. Beast. I'm sure he's got a name. I'm sure he's got a number on that YouTube channel. He's got an email. Call Mr. Beast and tell him to come there. Why Mr. Beast ain't there? And this is one county in America. There's millions of these counties like this in America, full of white people, for Mr. Beast to help. That's good. You ain't gotta go. Right. I want to know why Mr. Beast ain't there, Joby.
Wow, it's crazy. But, yeah, you need to go help your fellow white men and women. They don't have food.
Right.
They don't have the next meal. You know, Africa, we have arable land. We can figure out the next meal. Trust me, we can. But what about your people? They can't farm. They can't do nothing. So kindly go help them. You know, we just need our land back. So that is by you getting out of Africa. Like the Namibian president has said, you need to go back from where you came from. You know, we also need space. We need to breathe, you know. But anyway, as I wind up, I see the comments. I see Karibuni Sana once again. Shout out to John Mosquito. Earlier he was saying Ghana just rejected the renewal of gold mining lease for another 30 years, saying their country isn't getting anything from their gold being taken. That is nice. But who's gonna be now in control? Is it now John Mahama? Because that guy is still corrupt. He's still very corrupt. If you trust in Mahama to lead you on the right direction, let him actually first account himself guilty of all the corruption that he didn't deal with. That was during his presidency back then. How many people's lives were suffering when he was a president? You know, how much funds did he steal? What about the airport scandal? So Whatever Ghana is doing right now, so long as we just have a puppet president, I'm not buying none of that. Trust me. I'm never buying anything a country led by a puppet, what they're going to say, until I see more action. Until we see assassination attempts like Ibrahim Traore. That's when I'm going to see for real this is a leadership that is literally threatening the Western powers. But I also see John Mosquito says an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. Exactly. That is what we need to do, because white people, Indians, Chinese, have a free will of doing anything they want in Africa. They've been showing that in our faces. Like, your government is not going to do anything. Yeah, I can do something about it. I'm going to smack you in the mouth. Don't try me. You know, John Mosquito also says, President Ibrahim Traore could be more detrimental to them as it is cause an uproar across the whole Africa and Black diaspora too. Exactly. I also believe that it will be chaotic, but does that mean it's going to stop them from trying to kill him? Of course not. They'll still do anything possible. I mean, Thomas Sankara was also loved. Patrice Lumumba was also loved, and the rest. But they still took them down. Like, we don't care about the love of the people. That is like what they're trying to tell us. Thomas Cross says, Mr. Cave Beast African have been starving and surviving for forever. Africa doesn't need or want you. Exactly. That is what I'm saying. We have the land. Trust me, it's just that we don't really have that much of the land. White people literally stole away from us. But if everyone was given pieces of their land, generational lands that was stolen away from them, if everyone literally could just be given a piece, you're told, hey, here is your land, do whatever you want. You farm, you build here, and we've been surviving globally. Africans were survivors of so many things. So your porridge actually gives me more hunger. You know, when you drink porridge, it makes you more hungry. You want to eat more and more. That is the work of porridge. It fills your stomach, but in the next 1 hour, you need more food than that porridge. But I also see Sinovia in the building. Karibu Sana, she says, white people are begging on the streets of Atlanta, everywhere, you say. And I also see Sinovia says, the Roman Catholics are taking over Africa. They bet religion is dying. So I don't think that would be also for long standing. Bashatuji Bajaba Karibu Sana, you've changed your profile. Nice to see that. I've never seen you put on a profile, but nice to see that. I also see it says Beast is an and Sinovia says the master religion is serving the master. And I also see also Jibajaba said that is disgrace of having Mr. Beast coming to save us. Jerome Scro says head teacher be like school fees, you all pay up. Man, and if you don't pay up, you're chased away. You're not gonna you can stay at home even for a month if you're not able to pay school fees. I think for me the longest I stayed was 2 weeks. I think 2 weeks. I've never stayed home for like a whole month because of school fees. I think for 2 weeks only, that is the longest. Sometimes we were given school fees and then you don't want to pay on time, so you just put it on your pockets, walking around with it. So when other people are chased away, so you won't stay at school alone, because there's no classes also that go on when other students are chased out. So you just stay in the school idle. Nothing happens. The teachers won't teach because students have not paid all of them. But also see Jibajaba says, so he has the big hat like the chief or Bwana. Those are mostly the chiefs who are wearing that particular hat. He also said our body rejects white sourced organs. Of course they got to, because come on. Also he says, I can't believe that black people are so gullible and stupid. Well, it is happening. Also, John Mosquito says this Ruto did some piece of work and real ass. He's really doing crazy things. You can see again. I've just been watching some podcasts that are exposing a lot of things about Ruto. All these inside deals he's been making. It's crazy. Despite like this weekend we've had the killings of children, women, the rapings, the number actually escalated. That is in South Sudan. But Ruto is still working with the same people, same people. He doesn't care. I mean, that is what he's capable of. So it should make you understand who he is. In 2007, he burnt people in a church and took over that land. He grabbed a school and made it to a whole hotel, and he didn't care, and he's doing much more. But we also see John Mosquito says it's infused into DNA from past lives dealing with this Caucasian deep-rooted trauma is this cause of stupidity. And also see Jibba says former Pennsylvania Governor Bob Casey received a black boy's organs under sketchy circumstances. Allegedly, the plug was pulled on the boy and to acquire them, and mom didn't know till afterwards. That is the same thing. We had a Nigerian governor. They took this lady, lying to her that we're going to take you for a job, and then when she got there, she's in a hospital. They're like, now you're gonna give us your organ, one of our daughter needs to be saved, and she refused. And that is when the whole news literally popped out, because apparently this is what these people also will lie to you. They do I don't know how they do investigations on you. They discover you have the healthiest, whatever, but of course they have all our data, so it's crazy. And also see yeah, people also sell this. They sell their toes. But I also hear people selling their toes. The pig toes. I don't know about that, Joe Mosquito. So count me out, tafadhali. Count me out. But I also see you said that's because Mr. Cave Beast used to be one of the homeless people out there. Oh, on the streets of Virginia until he was hired to the dehumanized African image. Wow. Okay. So he was homeless. So he understands where he comes from, but it's not Africa. He doesn't come from Africa. So why is he helping Africans? And also see Jabajaba says they steal the power lines for copper. Also adds most of the WV doesn't have city water. That is I think the state. It's well or creek water. But yeah, we're coming to the end, and also see Jiba says they grow a lot of weed in them hills. I know, it's a whole pile of junk. Mr. Beast just dives through but doesn't stop in White House towns like this. It is true, man. White people need to go save their own. It is not just him. It's not just him. As I wind up, we also had this guy. His name is Zuckerberg. I don't know, Zuckerberg or Zach Nelson. He made his return to Kenya during this weekend to build water towers, install off-grid powers for local hospital, constructed a fully furnished library. And when I've spoken about actually our libraries, it is such a shame, man, to see that we have white people trying to restore libraries for us. Our libraries actually don't have books. And if they have books, we're not allowed to enter them. Like for me, I've said the school I went to, we had libraries, but we used to go to this library like it's something special. Like you've done the most special thing.
If you got libraries with books, you're not allowed to enter the wires of the library. No reason there's a library so people can go read the book. That's the reason for a library. Everybody can read the book.
Hell no, it was not allowed. It was not allowed. And if we have libraries at school, some of the like in our primary school we had libraries, but we were not allowed to go to them like that, just like that. In high school,
there's not a library. I don't know what the hell that is.
In high school, we had a library, but it was empty, and it was actually run by a white person. So
again, and that's not a library. A library, Jobin, is full of books. Anybody can go in at any time and withdraw the books. You write your name down, and you return it within a week or 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. That's a library.
I remember that, but not anymore. It was not that allowed. It was even the school books, like we're not even allowed. Sometimes there's a time the government used to like give textbooks, and then when you want to borrow, you write your name, and then you're gonna return it. But nowadays, the government does not even provide textbooks. You have to buy. You pay the school fees. You buy the desks. You buy the textbooks. You buy the writing books. You buy the uniform. You buy the shoes. Like it's a whole package. So that's why you see, literally, when you see someone actually completing school, it's a big deal in Africa, being honest.
I know.
Yeah, it's
because they went broke doing it. God damn.
Yeah, like the procedure, having everything packaged together. You going to school with the proper attire, not wearing a different sweater color because you can't afford a new sweater for the new school. Matching your whole school uniform, having shoes on us as well. Because I remember, like when I was studying in the village, I was the only child who had like proper school shoes. Yeah. The the people who are receiving the toms. That's why for me I used to raise toes, because I'm like, why are people receiving the toms? Because for me, I never took the tom shoes at home at all. If I think I took them only once, and my mom gave them away to the cleaning lady we had because she didn't like them. She didn't like them. She's like, I'm buying new shoes. Why are you taking shoes from school and all that? So it was crazy. It was just so crazy. But yeah, we're coming to the end of today's conversation right there. Again, Africans, we need to wake up. That is my closing remark personally. We need to reject white people coming into Africa and giving us help.
My closing remark is, Mr. Beast, don't help your people.
Our own leaders, exactly. You know, our own leaders need to be questioned. What are they doing? Because when I'm looking at some videos here, is this TikTokers are full of jokes, I'd say, but it's not something to be funny and to be laughing about. TikTokers are comparing. Here's one of the videos. Mr. Beast versus the government of Kenya. That is the kind of trend now. Because the government of Kenya, Ruto is going to keep on telling you, Tumetenga, we've set aside funds to do this. But where are the funds? We never see the funds. You always keep telling us Tumetenga. Where are the funds?
Job is good to put information in humor, so some people can digest what you're saying. Some people digest things better with humor. So it's good to make it funny, because they can digest, and okay, that's what's going on. But funds ain't going nowhere. We got Mr. Beast here. It's crazy.
You just witnessed a small village in Kenya get access to unlimited clean drinking water in less than a second.
One down, 99 more wells in Africa to go. You're going to love this video.
Million people.
Of Kericho. Father, and as we dedicate it today,
this is the government of
Kenya. People fresh water to drink. And after
so we want to bless the water of Kericho. Father, and as we dedicate it today, Jehovah, we want to pray that this water will be enough for us, and that, my Father, it shall not cause any disease, that it shall be blessed of you.
What? You didn't build this yet, Father.
That is what they built. That is what they have produced. What you can see on this. I don't know if it's visible enough, but yeah, this is just jokes. You know, our government is full of jokes. That is what most of the TikTokers are trying to say. Others are praising Mr. Beast. Others are so excited. You know, it's just mixed reaction. You know, let me see this one as I wind up this video.
YouTuber wetagwo Mr. Beast. Ego Kenya. Narokire arathie kuria mwena wa Narok. Aratigagurira thukuru mugunda. Aratigagura lori na kara.
I can't. I want this one. What's this one?
YouTuber wetagwo.
I don't know what the hell he's saying.
Yeah, he's talking Kikuyu. Let's do this.
Okay.
Going to Walmart and I don't know, maybe one person would ask for a photo and it's like, this is fucking cool. This is what it's like. But you don't, there's just like.
Yeah, but it's a whole lot of mixed reaction, literally. So we're coming to the end right there of today's conversation.
Imagine a foreigner who is just a YouTuber, visits your country, digs a borehole for the learners, offer them meals, construct them a greenhouse, after that, buying them a truck and a tractor. That is the same thing that Mr. Beast has done in Kenya. You see, Mr. Beast ni YouTuber na alikuja hapa Kenya. Alikuja Kenya tufanya tu hizo vitu zake za YouTube. But apparently, Mr. Beast has done something that even the government have never done since they were elected. Unaona, Mr. Beast ni mse mwingine, I think by now, is.
Yeah, so you can see the reaction is literally different from people. Others are excited, others are criticizing him, you know, so others criticizing Ruto.
Shout out to you, Synovia. You should be happy. I haven't said the N-word for a month.
We'll catch him, Synovia, don't worry. You know,
no N-word and no cursing for a month.
Bring up a heated conversation of, like, let's say that Jamaican guy, and you see how Keith is gonna go wrong. Like, he's gonna forget he's supposed not to say anything.
I do that behind the scenes, Joby.
But anyway, much love, family. Thank you so much for tuning in. Yesterday, we were not able to come in because of light, so they disappeared literally when I was going live. But thank you so much to everyone who has been able to catch up with me this morning. Come back on the network, catch up with Shmani Iwaton, or on our TikTok and see the top 10 music of what is in the 254. And then join me later and Shmani also on YouTube and Rumble and other on the radio as we react.
And see Shimani on her show. Tell her parents, tell her sisters to kick rocks. I got my certificate, you bees.
So much love, family. See you guys later. I'm going to wind up with this jam by Asano Afrocentric, released 2 hours ago. Shout out to him. As we see, literally, what's next in the next conversation.
Yeah, I'm feeling like Mike in the ring. Nipe Mike in the booth, punchline, waga me. Nataka niwazuzwe kazi ni din. Nina dream ya kufly high kama kapeti ya Aladdin. No flavor, strictly